Hey guys, MrPokke here, back with another video. You guys probably know me as MrPokke. It's a guy who makes CN Honkai style guides, as well as most of the time being Goofy R on Twitch. My real name, or at least a part of it, is Kai. And I've been looking forward to making this video for a really long time. This is very different from my original content, covering Honkai Star Rail, gacha games, nuclear reactions. So as of the 13th of March 2024, I have officially quit my corporate job. I'm basically all in to be a content creator on Twitch and YouTube. This is the story of how a random 26-year-old Singaporean dude discovered his passion for content creation, quit the rat race, and what he will be doing going forward. I want this to pretty much just be a very raw talk between myself and my viewers from both YouTube and Twitch. I'm not doing this on Twitch right now. This is going to be the first time anyone's seeing this, right? So if you're still here, if you're still interested in my journey so far, then let's begin with today's content. So a little bit of a background information about myself. I'm raised in a pretty interesting family background. Essentially, I never knew who was my biological father up until 18 because I was under the impression that my then stepdad had always been my biological dad. Unfortunately, my mom and my stepdad got a divorce around the time I was 18, and it's just been me and my mom ever since for the past 8 years, right? Because I'm 26 this year. So in a sense, I am raised to be quite competitive, quite savvy by my mom, and basically to succeed in life, right? She really wanted me to make it because it's just me and her. Maybe it was from the way I was raised, or maybe it was just this drive that I had. I wanted to provide the financial security to both myself and my mom as she approaches retirement in the next couple of years. As of 2024, I am 26 this year. I just graduated from college last year with a finance degree. After numerous internships and job applications, I have basically landed my first job at a rather prestigious bank in Singapore, and life was looking pretty good. It really was. But deep down, I knew that I never truly enjoyed finance or perhaps corporate in general. But nonetheless, I still buckled down and aimed to do well in the bank. I wanted to do well in this job and rise the ranks, climb the corporate ladder and all that kind of stuff, right? Because in Singapore, money is one of, if not the largest motivation for any form of career path. Since Singapore is a meritocratic country with a very heavy emphasis on being financially capable. So very few people in Singapore, or rather just very few people in the world, can truly say they enjoy their careers, right? They really like what they're doing, if not for the sake of earning a livelihood and providing for themselves and their loved ones. I knew that deep down, I always didn't want to sell my time to another entity. I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to see my effort equate to the result that I'm going to be getting instead of getting paid by a third party, because it just doesn't sit very well with me for some reason. Probably just deep down within me, I just always felt that I wanted to do my own thing and be good at what I'm doing, right? So that's that. But yeah, so that is basically my background, and now onwards to how my passion for content creation or even gaming started, right? Since young, I've always enjoyed playing games in general, ranging from games like Monster Hunter back in PSP, the PlayStation Portable, Monster Hunter Freedom United, StarCraft, League of Legends, maybe on more recent titles like Elden Ring, Cyberpunk, eventually the gacha game Brain Rot, right? I've played games like Dragalia Lost, Summoner's War, Nikkei, Archery Gear, like pretty much a lot of games. And like most games, I like to hop into the VC with the boys, play till like 5 a.m. during the losers queue, right? Just one more win. We can't end on a loss, just one more win, and go to school 1 hour later, right? There's also like the 12-hour non-stop, right? I think that was back when StarCraft first released in the Winds of Liberty. Just wanted to play Zerg all day, all night. Back then, there wasn't even Discord. It was Skype voice chat. And yeah, I still remember like it was just wild because I was like, what, 11, 12, and the people I'm playing with were like 20, 30 playing StarCraft. It was crazy. It was pretty out of hand, essentially. And yes, I was a fat fuck, right? But how I lost the weight is a completely different topic. Essentially, I just wanted to point out my passion for gaming had always been there ever since I was a teeny weeny little boy, right? So onwards to content creation itself, right? Or perhaps streaming. My first ever motivation for streaming is Actually, Tyler won. The man is genuinely like the funniest, realest, and the most entertaining streamer I've seen in a long time. And he inspired me greatly to be a streamer myself one day, right? And Tyler 1, if you ever watch this video, I know you won't, but if you ever watch this video, I hope you know that you are an absolute treasure in the modern world, and you probably inspired millions to become better at what they do, no matter what kind of things they are trying to accomplish, right? So yeah, that was basically setting up the stage to this small ember burning in my heart that I wanted to do content creation. Even if it was not a full-time job, even if it was just like a side project, I just knew that I wanted to do it, right? And fast forward, COVID happened, all that kind of stuff. Just didn't really pull the trigger. Socializing, right? It just never really found the place that I did. It was always at the back of my mind doing content creation, but I never truly took the first step until Honkai Star Rail came out, right? So this was around the same time last year where Honkai Star Rail launched on the 26th of April, and I instantly fell in love with the game. It ticked all of my boxes. Turn-based, character design, right? Waifus, all that kind of stuff, and pretty engaging endgame content for a gacha game, right? Very, very nice quality. I tried dabbling a little bit around content creation in the past. The very first game I streamed being Counter-Side, but it never really took off, right? I basically just streamed to like 10 people, and that was like all from the boys in Discord. They'll just hop onto my stream and support me. And as well as some goofy gameplay videos, probably seen from my oldest videos, right? Like Counter-Side, Artery Gear, Grimlight, Eversoul, this kind of random ass gacha games, right? So that was like my very first taste of content creation, if you could even call it content creation. So Honkai Star Rail was legitimately the first time I was like, okay, it's time for me to take the first step. Or rather, maybe consider this a second step, since I did dabble around a little bit, right? So at this point in Honkai Star Rail, I've never ever thought that content creation was going to be a full-time thing, right? And I genuinely did content creation out of pure passion. It was never about the money. There was no monetization. There was no goals. There was no followers. Nothing. I only did it because I genuinely enjoyed playing gacha games or video games in general, and I just wanted to share my footage with the world. It was as simple as that. So as I start dabbling into like Honkai Star Rail content creation, I was just doing basically really random stuff like Memory of Chaos, Simulated Universe runs, while I also slowly started to do my guide making, my first ever YouTube guide making, right? It was literally just me yapping for almost 50 minutes, me just staring into the screen, looking at the Excel and just like mumbling in my very, very strong Singaporean accent back then.
For your 4-piece relic, you start to get 1 piece of guaranteed gold drop, as well as for your 2-piece relic, you start to guaranteed all 1-piece gold drop in every single Simulated Universe.
So yeah, I basically explained things like stamina usage, light cone redemption, speed, action value, defense shred, effect hit rate, all that kind of stuff. Right? There was no edits, I don't think there was any B-rolls. It was just literally me yapping to the camera as I just explained to my audience what the Excel sheet was talking about. That was the early days, right? My first few steps towards content creation. Now my breakthrough, it happened around Jing Yuan's banner, right? Because I already started way too late for Honkai Star Rail. I didn't make guide for Silly, all that kind of stuff. I didn't play during CBT. I didn't even ride hype train. It was just, okay, I like playing this game as a viewer, as a connoisseur of Honkai Star Rail. I like playing this game. So I was really a little bit late. And fast forward to Jing Yuan's banner. I didn't really have any expectations for this, but I realized that this was a pretty good time to kind of dive into my first ever like unit guide. And this is where I started to look into Bilibili for the CN community's thoughts on Jing Yuan. CN is notorious for providing very, very in-depth mathematical quantitative guides, very, very different from the YouTube side, right, where it's a lot more focused on entertainment value. So CN, they just really just hone in on the numbers and they just like distribute it as it is. And as a try-hard myself, or maybe because I'm like the typical Asian raised with like very strict expectations and this just transformed into my video game expectations, I loved how CN made their guides. And I also wanted to make some of the most in-depth guides possible for Jing Yuan, which is something I noticed not a lot of people in YouTube was doing at the current time, right? For Sila's guide, for most of the guys I saw, it was mostly like just explain their skills, explain their kits, some gameplay footage. Didn't really get into the numbers. So I'd figure out, why not I try this out, right? So basically, I started to dig really, really deep into multiple CN guides for Jing Yuan and began the translation process on a very simple Google Sheet. And the first ever CN unit analysis featuring Jing Yuan was born. It was an instant hit. And that was my first ever 10,000 views on YouTube. And I instantly went from, I believe it was 20, 30 subs to 200 subs from that one video. And I was beyond beyond happy, right? I was beyond ecstatic. And this was around a point where I discovered and established my niche in the extremely saturated Honkai Star content creation space, which was bridging the gap between CN and EN communities, right? Unfortunately, this wasn't as straightforward as just reacting to CN content because it was often quite dry. Like CN, they usually just show you guys a bunch of numbers and just explain all the numbers and all that kind of stuff. It's not as entertaining as the EN side. So I had to do my own summaries to make it a little bit more engaging and kind of simplify the overall numbers and make it more digestible to the viewers on YouTube, right? I took this approach and went on with my next idea, which was CN's response towards Jingyuan's kid, right? So you guys can see way back in the day, Jingyuan overhyped, right? CN players furious. That was crazy. And the video once again popped off, but this time it popped off even harder than my Jingyuan guide because Tectone reacted to this video and it sent a massive influx of subscribers to my channel, almost doubling my subscribers from 200 to almost 400, right? And keep in mind, before this, I was thankful that I can even get a single sub from any of my videos, right? One sub a day, I was super happy. So the fact that from like overnight we like doubled, it was just like, it was wild to me. That was, and still probably will be, the happiest moments of my life as a content creator, because you will never be as satisfied as that very first breakthrough ever again. And I do firmly stand by this opinion, right? No matter your next 100,000, 200,000, 1 million subs, I don't think anything will compare to the very first breakthrough you had as a content creator, right? So I kept to this approach. I kept translating content from CN and inserting some of my own content, such as Pokke's Academy, MOC Progression, and before I knew it, with the aid of the CN content as well as a tracking from Tectone, I hit my very first 1,000 subs and then 2,000 subs 1 week later. This was also around a time where my Discord, Pokke's Village, started to materialize because I'm now honed in on building a community that appreciates the content I do, as well as just interacting with some of my viewers off YouTube, right? And this was also the same time where I started to stream a lot more on Twitch featuring Honkai Star Rail. The beginning of my Twitch career, right, Honkai Star Rail was around the June/May period, right? I was averaging like 50 viewers and all that kind of stuff, right? So that is basically setting up the stage of my slow rise to where I am today. So I just kept on making CN guides off stream, right? I will always do my slides, I was always do updating my Excel, doing my translations, doing my research. All of this was done off stream, and then on stream I'll probably just stream like 2 to 3 times a week just to play some like Memory of Chaos, talk with some of my viewers, some simulated universe, and all that kind of stuff, right? So YouTube and Twitch, they were two very different entities for me back then, right? They were not merged into one yet, and I was still trying to drive more traffic to Twitch from YouTube because if you guys are trying to start out as a Twitch streamer without any external traffic, it's going to be extremely fucking right? Luckily for me, because my YouTube was starting to slowly start to take off, I did gain a pretty decent inflow of viewers, and I just always funneled my YouTube viewers back to Twitch to watch my streams, right? So that was how I cultivated the rise of both YouTube and Twitch platforms together, hand in hand, right? So I basically just kept doing this for a very long time, but unfortunately, I couldn't keep up because my full-time job was kicking in. And keep in mind, when I signed the contract for my full-time job, I did not expect that content creation was gonna be a potential, it was a potential opportunity to take over my full-time job. At this point, my YouTube account as well as my Twitch account, they were still relatively small, very small. There was no way that I was even thinking this is possible, that okay, I can do this full-time, right? It was just a little bit of a side income, and it was good enough for me, right? So I went to full-time. I still try to keep up with the uploads and the guides, just try to pump out as much as I can while streaming here and there, right? But eventually, I realized that this was just simply not feasible because after I end the work, so here's basically like my work schedule, right? After I end the work, I will start work it's a typical 9 to 6. So I'll wake up at around 8, reach there at 9, come back home at 6, shower, dinner, all that kind of stuff. Start streaming at around 8, stream from 8 to like 11 or 12. And then from 12 to like 2 or 3, I'll be doing my guides for YouTube. Because remember, I wasn't taking any of my content from Twitch to YouTube. There was no like nuclear reactions. There was no like gameplay footage. It was just strictly guide making. So I did all of my guide making off stream. And that would be my life every single day in the weekdays. So I basically sleep roughly 3 to 4 hours every day on a weekday, and then on weekends I'll try to catch up my sleep, go to the gym, all that kind of stuff, right? So I knew deep down this was not going to be sustainable. There was no way I could do this forever, but somehow I managed to do this for 6 months straight. And looking back at it, I have no idea how I did it, because back then I didn't even have an editor. I was editing my own videos and all that kind of stuff. So I was doing my own B-rolls, making my own guides, and then editing my own video. And I'm so thankful for my team of editors now, easing the burden on my life, because I have no idea how I did it last time, right? So anyways, I had to choose between climbing the corporate race, climbing the ranks in the finance industry, or actually going for a content creation route, because I can't just half-ass both, and in the end I might just lose both at the same time. So it was still a pretty difficult moment for me to decide, because at one point my content creation, it was really just not good enough to do this full-time, and the other point, I know that my interest lies with content creation, so I'm also not that willing to just climb the corporate race, right? So it was a pretty difficult period for me to kind of decide, but eventually, I have no idea what changed, what happened. We just slowly kept rising and rising and rising. Yeah, from my first 10k subs, 20k, 30k. I think the biggest breakthrough I've had was probably around the Genshin drama period, where I did a almost 13-hour live stream covering the nuclear Genshin drama. That live stream alone really like pushed me a lot higher to where I was, especially on Twitch, because before this live stream, my Twitch, it was doing pretty okay. It was actually averaging like, I think 500-600 viewers, so it's pretty nice. After that Genshin stream, I started getting insane CCVs, right? It was like my first 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and nowadays we're just averaging around this number. So that was the big push for Twitch. For YouTube side, I think we've had a few hits here and there, right? I'm sure some of you guys have seen the double runway stuff, right? My account audits, my usual CN guides. So YouTube was also just slowly doing its own thing. But Twitch taking off was the pivotal moment for me to realize, okay, this is it. I will be doing content creation full-time, because the revenue from both Twitch, YouTube, and I guess you could say sponsorships, I did a few here and there, but it's really not that much. It was, at this point, doing very well. So I was telling myself, you know what, fuck it, right? I'm 26. Even if I fail content creation, even if everything goes away 1 year later, I'll be okay with it, because it would be the worst feeling in the world knowing that I had this opportunity and I didn't take it, and I just get stuck in the rat race. There was this exit path right in front of me, and if I didn't take it, I just would not be able to live with myself. So I went for it. I attended my resignation, and the path was set for today, which is the 13th of March 2024. And here is basically where we are. We're doing pretty well on Twitch, we're doing pretty well on YouTube, and I couldn't be happier, genuinely. This is very few people in the world can truly say that, like I mentioned at the start of the video, right? Can truly say that they enjoy what they're doing. Very few people in the world can turn their passion into an income, a livelihood for themselves and their loved ones. And I can not be thankful enough to all of my viewers from Twitch and YouTube to give me this platform. And yeah, basically, yeah, it's just I'm just very blessed, and I'm just very thankful and very privileged to be where I am today. All right, so yeah, going forward, right, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Going forward, so what are some of the plans I have going forward, since I'm now a full-time content creator? I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but right now, a lot of my content from YouTube, they are taken directly from Twitch now, right? I'll basically stream on Twitch with an idea in mind that I will turn this into a YouTube video, which is actually a tip that Ludwig advice. I was watching a lot of like content creation guides on YouTube, seeing like how can I improve myself, and Ludwig was like, every single time you stream, you must have a theme to turn this into a YouTube idea if you want to succeed in both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And they're both kind of synonymous, because the bigger your Twitch grows, the more audience you can drive to YouTube, and the bigger your YouTube grows, the more audience you can drive to Twitch. It's a very symbiotic relationship, so it is in the content creator's best interest to grow in both platforms at the same time, right? So nowadays, I'm just streaming with the intention of like taking some of the streams into YouTube as video idea, and I'm also doing multi-stream at the same time for both Twitch and YouTube, because hey, why not, right? I just press one button, multi-stream, boom, and we're done. So that is basically what I'm doing right now. You guys have noticed that I am slowly moving away from guide making. I'm a lot more focused on the establishment of my personality as a content creator. I'm still doing guides, but to be fair, the only guide or the only content that I do off stream is my CN unit analysis. For those stuff, I can't really do it on stream. I look at the numbers and that kind of stuff. So everything else, I tend to just do it on stream. Pokke's classrooms, account audits, all that kind of stuff, they are very, very nice on stream into video content that I found myself. Going forward, I definitely would not be restricting myself to Honkai Star Rail. I'll be playing more games, Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, heck, maybe even like AAA games like Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah, and I just want to see where this journey takes me. To be completely honest, although this is a very exciting journey for me, exciting step to see in the future as a content creation, I've quit the rat race, really cool, but deep down, there will always be a feeling of uncertainty because content creation, it is never a stable job, right? It's never ever a stable job. Who knows, one day you get cancelled on Twitter, who knows, one day the game dies, your career is over. So I do have this innate feeling of uncertainty that things just won't work out and nothing is going to change this. No matter how secure you are, even if I have like 1 million subscribers right now, nothing is going to get rid of this uncertainty. So as exciting as I am, I'm also going to be holding my caution. I'm also going to be wise with the income that I'm making to hopefully be financially free in the near future so that I'm not that focused on the revenue side of things, right? Yeah, so that is basically my journey so far as a random Singaporean rat race SKP turned content creator. At this point, I just want to have a huge shout out to my community, my villagers, my Discord, right? My viewers from Twitch and YouTube. Genuinely, respectfully, you guys are the reason why I'm able to do this where I am. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, right? Also, my backend team, right? My mod team, my editors, my thumbnail makers, my website, right? You know, Pokke's library, all that kind of stuff, right? Thankful to each and every single one of you for helping me build this backend operations while I'm focusing on the content creation stuff, right? Couldn't have done it without you guys. I am thankful to all of the content creators that were with me, even though I was like tiny, right? Tamias, Grimroll, Rihu, Eo, Moon, Tectone, Gotch Smack, Goba Certified, Mifuyu, Ruby, Mina, Sweetery. So don't take that out of context, right? But yeah, genuinely thankful to all of the content creators that have been supporting my journey ever since I was a nobody. And even now, I don't really think I'm like a hotshot. I do believe that nothing really changed. I still stream the way I am, I still do content the way I am, and I still want to cater to the viewers being as real as I can be. And lastly, perhaps the most important person I want to thank is probably my mom. Because my mom was actually not supportive of my content creation journey at the start. She, you know, on top of being an Asian parent, she's a single mom. So security to her was of the utmost priority. So imagine her son landing a pretty decent job in finance, right? On track to become pretty good if you climb the corporate ladder. And all of a sudden, I'm like, nope, I'm going to play games for a living, mom. She was not happy at first. But despite that, she still catered to a lot of my needs. I have this whole new room now. This is basically the living room. And she basically gave this all to me for my setup, all that kind of stuff. She cooks for me every single day. And she makes sure that I get my nutrition in, right? She still advises me to, you know, don't sleep too late, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, even though she's not supportive of this decision, but deep down, I guess she still really just wanted her son to be happy. And now that the numbers are showing, she knows that currently my career is doing pretty well. Yeah, she's all for it, basically. So yeah, thanks, mom. And with that, we have come to the end of today's content. Like I said, it's very, very different from the original content, and I probably won't be making this ever again, but it's a pretty significant milestone in my life. If anything, this is just like a journal, just for me to look back, like maybe 1 year later, either I make it big or I failed. I'll look back into this video and be like, so that's what he was thinking 1 year ago, right? So yeah, if you guys want to engage in any further discussions, feel free to hop on to Pokke's Village. We're a very active community talking about pretty much everything on a daily basis, right? If you want to check my stream, that's going to be twitch.tv/MrPokke. If it's on YouTube, I stream to both platforms. Now, I'm probably going to be streaming every single day going forward. And I will be hosting a subathon around May. And I'll be looking forward to see how things go by then, right? So that's all I have for today. All the best, not just for your gacha pools, but everything that you guys are doing in life right now. I genuinely wish you guys all the best. So yeah, that's all I have for today. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.